Connecting. Switch. Probably. We're back live with the passing show. Trying to avoid getting run over here. I had the light with me though. Crossing Connecticut Avenue, heading up to Florida. And moving. Probably get a. Oh, sorry. And we got a couple of you joining us already here. Let's see. Catherine Wallenstein, Sandra Fisher, Whispers and Wonders. Let's join. Thank you. Thank you for joining. This is a passing show, a little bit of what Harrowings does. Breaking up the surface, getting it prepared for creative work. And I will probably be writing later today. Maybe not. Don't have to write every day. In fact, I think I tend to put too much information out into cyberspace sometimes. Hopefully that won't disappear on me. I understand it's happening from time to time. Oh, college physics, I put that there. And otherwise, the other books in the little free library provided by the Romanians of America is not there. That's my garden passing. May be the owner of the penthouse here. I don't know why anybody would buy it. It's all gutted and doesn't even have appliances, nothing. And I think they lowered the price down to 800 something thousand. It's nice. It will be nice if somebody fixes it. But God, it's ripped apart. We lost a limb on our sycamore tree here. Sycamore? No, it's gum. And that was a big storm came through not too long ago. So I'm taking my chances by parking under these trees when the storms are coming in and tearing them up. Somebody will come along and clean that up eventually, I expect. Got a bank of Lazy Susans. We're on Esch Street Northwest, by the way, in Washington, D.C., taking in the passing show. The Embassy of Costa Rica, right there. I have a friend who's flying back down to Costa Rica. Should be there by now. Met here in D.C. just a few days ago. Name of Evan. That was nice. This is the studio school. On the 17th, they had an event. I tried to make sure I amplified that. Yeah. Tend to our gardens. And I'm walking. And I'm thinking about which way I want to walk. Should I go up Bancroft? Yeah. Up to Bancroft, I should say. On Phelps. It's a gorgeous house here on the corner. Just love its shape. There's so many beautiful houses in the conservation easement. Mine included 1904 construction. Torn up my alleyway here. They do some water work or something. A patch of asphalt where the bricks were. Hopefully they'll repair it better. Some point in the future, there's some bricks there. Could be used for it. See the kind of cars people drive in the neighborhood? It's a Taycan 4. That's cute. It's kind of a new design to me. It's like an electric Porsche or plug-in hybrid. Oh, this one's up for Coldwell Banker Realty. Eesh. This building used to be Russian American Foundation. But if you want it, you can hit up 202-257-2339. Marin Hagen and Sylvia Bergstrom. Coldwell Banker Realty. I think that's right. Okay, no. This isn't what I thought it was. That's a relief. But it is a beautiful building. Old. Vines climbing on it. This is the Russian American Foundation up there. more of a mustard colored brick. That's what I was gonna go for. Got surveillance cameras over here. 3 of them. A lot of data being sucked up about this area. There's the Russian flag flying at Russian Cultural Center. And we're going to read a little bit about it. Why not? I like doing this. It's the official home of Russian culture in the United States is created pursuant to bilateral agreement between the United States and Russia, providing for cultural centers in both countries. It's a public-private partnership between the Russian government and the supporting American nonprofit organization, the Friends of the Russian Cultural Center. Its purpose is to develop and maintain positive relations between Russian and American people by sponsoring activities in the areas of education, the arts, commerce, athletics, and science. The RCC cooperates with numerous Russian American organizations in both countries and has liaisons with universities, museums, and other cultural institutions across the U.S. and Russia. The Russian government building whose early American occupants owned the Hope Diamond and Washington Post is a museum, research library, and classroom of Russian culture and a stage for exhibits in the performing arts. Russian American Room chronicles and exhibits examples of Russian American cooperation from the 18th century commercial trade to Catherine the Great and John Paul Jones to allies in World War II to our continuing joint ventures in space. The 21st century goal of the RCC is that our two nations never again polarize. We have been too long deprived of each other's company. It is high time we became reacquainted. It was dedicated December 11th, 1999. Madam Valentina Tereshkova, Chairperson, RCI SSCC, Ambassador Yuli Vorontsov, Ambassador Yuri Yushikov, Vladimir Gerashenko, the Deputy of the RCI SCC, and Natalia Batova, Director of the RCC, Lloyd Costley, Chairman FRCC. So now you know, and that's my neighbors. This place is also for sale up here. I expect it's a condo, and on it goes. I have a Catholic church, Our Lady of Queen of the Americas, across the street. I think we're going to go ahead and go across the street here to go down California House across the way. There's another building, red brick, nearby where my cousin once had a condo. I think she sold it, I hope. She had it on the market at one point anyway. Sure, she's just rolling in money. And that's good. We had quite a falling out around her brother's liver transplant. I was being screened to be a potential living donor. I was willing to do that because he was my mother's twin brother's son. And when I was screened out, they stopped speaking to me, which I found just incredibly weird. I think they were offended that I requested that they set up a GoFundMe to help with the expenses because she was telling me about how much she had to shell out for his care. I thought, well, my friends will help. And they did. Then she returned all of it when I was screened out, which is her prerogative. But I thought it was weird. And I think that they were kind of like upset with me because I couldn't afford to take 3 months off from the gig I had then to donate my liver to my cousin. I needed to have my income sort of covered during that time. Yeah, they had to spend some money on doing some legal work to figure it out exactly how much that would be. And I provided the information. They figured it out. I think it just embarrassed them and made them feel like I was making it about the money. But I mean, let's be realistic here. How many of us can afford to take 3 months off to do that kind of thing, or longer, depending on how it goes, and be sliced open and have 2/3 of your liver cut out? I was willing. I was scared as I was going through the process. They did screen me out. They found some things in my blood that made it too risky for a 59-year-old man to put himself out there. Over 60, you can't do it anyway. And, I certainly put myself out there. I think Lynn and I have determined we're going to give our bodies to science, and I am an organ donor. So if they can use my organs when I'm done, they may. I was inspired by Phil Lesch's example and advocating organ donorship. I was already an organ donor before I learned about his liver transplant that extended his life from 1998 to, what was it, 2024, October, when he passed away at the age of 84, just before the Kennedy Center honors of the Grateful Dead. I made myself a Kennedy Center Circles member then, but things have changed, and I'm not going to re-up my membership in the Kennedy Center this time around. I probably will continue to give to the Phillips collection, my neighbors who maintain a nice art collection, not contiguous with my place, but I consider it to be mine, more or less, as I tend to give them a fairly hefty donation every year. And love to work there. I did apply, but I heard no response to my application, and not surprising. They probably didn't think I was really serious about it. I am, and I should make that clear sometime soon if I want to get myself a little part-time gig there as an assistant in the galleries. I have a background in conservation, so why not? I was at the Carnegie Museum of Art Conservation Department from 1997 as a volunteer initially to 1998 when I became the chief conservator's secretary or administrative assistant, if you prefer. We're at Tracy Place on 23rd Street now, Northwest. There are a lot of embassy buildings around. This is, I think, the Polish military attaché in this building. Yeah. You can see the European Union flag and Polish flag beyond that flying out there on this corner. This is another embassy. I think it might be Zambia's. What a beautiful building that is. Another embassy. Over across the way is home. It was the home of William Howard Taft when he was the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Oh, bloody hell. Just ran into a post with my watch. I've got a really nice watch, but didn't damage it any. Clicking away. They took out the little painting that was here of the different presidents who live in the neighborhood or have lived in the neighborhood. That's weird. I wonder if somebody vandalized it. What do I want to do now? I think we'll walk down this way. I'm going to make the loop of Colorama Circle because we can. And I need to walk. It's not as hot as it's been, so I feel like I'm in good shape to do that. I'm going to look at the back of the Taft home. Really run down. Some foreign government owns it, I believe, and just letting it go. It happens a lot. This one's just been rehabbed after being let go. And then we're sort of coming up, as it were, on the French ambassador's home. You can see off in the distance there over this gray sienna. The Statue of Liberty copy is much smaller than the main one, but it's a copy in front of the house, wrapped in the colors of the Ukraine to show France's solidarity with the Ukraine. Over here, Thai territory, an educational attaché or something. Has some sign on the door here. It says, please wait. Pending application, public notice is applied for something. Historic preservation review. That's the Royal Thai Embassy Consular section. Yeah. It's a Mexican ambassador's residence, probably. Think, maybe, don't know. Come on around to visit some of my other neighbors. One of the things back here is the oldest house in DC. It was brought in like 6 rail cars here from up in Massachusetts, I believe. To look again, I can't keep all that information in my head. And it was a historical house, quite large, and it was reconstructed here in DC in the colonial revival period, really. I think 30s, 20s, around the same time my hometown was bought by the Rockefellers and restored to its 18th century appearance. If you haven't been to Williamsburg, Virginia, consider a trip. Who else we got here? We got a total of 12 people besides me have joined in and been watching. Feel free to comment. I could even invite you to come live on here with me if you wanted to talk, but I don't think I'm going to do that today. That's something I'm planning to do later. In fact, on Saturday, tomorrow, at 11 a.m., Jay Venner, who's holds a master's in AI and robotics, is going to get on. I guess we'll talk about qualia and some kind of thinking, recursive thinking. That was it. And curious to see where that conversation goes and how long it lasts. I kind of got most of the day, so we'll talk. And then I've got to head down to run into a friend of mine, and you're going to be in Adams Morgan. We've worked that out. So, yeah, the beautiful houses in the area. Probably should walk down this way and then loop the Colorama Circle, and then maybe we'll continue past that oldest house in Washington, moved from its original home. There should be information about it in the little call box here. It's call box series. It's not there. I don't know what they're doing. Why have they removed it? It was right here. We've repainted it recently, it looks like. Maybe they'll reinstall these. But all the information about this house is probably available online as well. You can look it up. You can see it back over there in the trees. Lost a big tree right on the corner during one of our storms here lately. Had a lot of strong winds. You can see this house on the other side. Number 6. Wait for the Tesla to go by. Virginia license plate on that, TVP 6999. One of the things I like to do is grab metadata about things. So we know that that car owned by somebody, it's being driven by somebody, maybe the owner, through this particular spot at this particular point in history. So it's raw information, primary documentation, and could be linked up to other data to tell a story potentially. And I just sort of soak it up, put it out there, and you can do with it what you will. Got a kind of a Mercedes Sprinter van over there, panel van, probably some workmen. Got to do something on this house. Again, was shipped in rail cars down here, reconstructed on this site, 2401. Guess on Colorama Road. This is Colorama Circle. Some beautiful architecture. Different periods. Here's number 16. Nice polished brass knockers there. Pretty plain, but, attractive stone architecture. This one's brick, white painted. And there's another construction van or something. And over here, another stone building with a kind of a castle turret on it. And another also in stone. This is number, I don't know. Let's see. 20. 20 of Colorama Circle. Now, where we are now is we're at the intersection of Colorama Circle Northwest and Belmont Road Northwest. And you'll see a Secret Service car sitting there. This area is blocked off so nobody can go down there because Obama has his house there. Some roses at 26, Colorama Circle. Secret Service is smiling and talking to this chap. He's got some sort of city shirt on, and he's got an old Mustang convertible. Adirondack Tree Services is out here because probably that storm must have done some damage there too when we saw it limb down on S Street from the gum tree. There's number 34. They've got some nice foliage inside as well as outside. Hydrangea action, pink ones. My wife's trying to turn ours blue by dumping coffee grounds around the roots. Maybe it'll work. We'll see next year. Yeah, there's that chipper that I've been doing work on the trees. Adirondack tree experts. Licensed in Maryland and presumably in DC as well. You need them. You can see their contact information on the truck. 301-595-227. Obviously in operation. It's a beautiful house here. Like the architecture. Really do. Whew. Got a long ways to go. So I don't know if we have any comments from anyone. No one has joined again. Kathy Shields, Uncle Nitwit. I like that name. Riot, Irving A. Lurch, Bruno, Naya O, Brandon Rose. Yeah, oh, that's Brandon Ross, sorry. And on we go with the passing show. And we got a total of 12 people besides me, so not a lot. Probably nobody's watching at this point, I would think, because I'm just rambling as I walk through my neighborhood, doing the Colorama Circle. It's good exercise because we got some varying terrain, climbing now. I also like to take in the cars around me. Here's a Lexus SUV, Toyota, another Lexus here, fancy one, swoopy, little convertible. Got a nice shield there to keep it cool. Reflect the heat back out. What kind is that? It's called an LC500. This probably has a 5-liter V8 engine in it. Made by Toyota. And a Lexus being their luxury brand. Got an Audi A4, A3, sorry. And another Lexus RX 350. And then we got a nice Mercedes SUV. Pipes coming out to the side. That's a fancy one. What is that? G63. And one thing, it's another Audi across the street. Honda, Toyota, Ford, a Mercedes. How bad we saw it earlier. I'm going to make another close pass by the oldest house in DC. Danforth? Springs to mind. Don't know. But this house on the other side with the British flag flying there and the Union Jack is the home of the ambassador from the UK, 2404 Colorama. House next to it is kind of beautiful stone architecture, a little Tudorish kind of half timbering there. And gorgeous door, ironwork. Work going on in a lot of these places. Well, there's the door opening and closing now. And this whole building, I love their roses. I just think they're beautiful. They're so beautiful. I used to talk to my mom from this point when she was living in the house in Williamsburg, which has been taken down now, sold. It's a lot of things we don't have anymore since Dad died. There we have a sculpture out there in the garden. Really beautiful place. So many ways. And the people who own them, I don't know what they did to get to the point where they own houses like these in this neighborhood. But this is the most affluent neighborhood. Most affluent neighborhood in DC. It's a well manicured lawn there. So a French provincial look to that house. And I hope you all are enjoying this because I'm enjoying walking and talking to you as usual. They're having FH Fur plumbing and heating work, looks like. This house was sold recently. It was up for sale and I advertised it when I was doing the passing show on Facebook. downloaded those videos now. They're probably not available on Facebook any longer because Facebook decided to clean out their servers of all my live videos that I'd stored forever. This one had a fire. Pretty bad one. You can see the damage. I haven't been down here since the fire. I heard about it. I didn't come down here, but look at that. Damage to the slate roof. Oh, man. Interior all blackened. Horrible. Several alarms went off. Looks like they're going to have to do a lot of work. Do not enter. Fire investigation is in progress. Shattered the glass there. Oh, man. What a beautiful home, too. I think it was being renovated at the time and then caught fire and burned. And oh, my gosh. At least its stones are in place still, but man, what a shame. Wonder if they did it for insurance. Who knows? Terrible thing to think. I'm sure the people who were in this house are probably terrified out of their wits. They got a beautiful home there. And yeah, tough days for many. Flag wrapped around the flagpole there. Looks like it might be an Arabian embassy. Don't know. Pretty dilapidated looking. Go up here. I think Chris Wallace recently sold his house and moved. Not sure. He lived right up a couple doors down on Wyoming Avenue. So where are we going? I think I'm going to do a loop. I'm going to take Tracy place here where Colorama runs into it after bending to make that intersection. You can see somebody's got their garage open. Little scene and closing up. I think they were bringing in their trash receptacle at Tracy Place. And down here, Ivanka had one of these houses. It might have been this one when she and Jared Kushner, from my neighbors, building permit. And then we got some bricks being laid. Got Cross, get out of the way of this guy. Embassy of Guyana. If you wanted to know where that was, this is the Chancery of the Embassy of the Republic of Guyana. Have a little this thing there, Permanent Mission of Guyana to the Organization of American States is in there as well. This house on Belmont and Tracy Place is having some work done, apparently. Got some sculptures in the back there. And then there's a lot of these are really great for entertaining. Not too far now from Obama's house down this direction. There's a flag there. It looks like is that the flag of the Ukraine out? Don't know. Organization of, don't think it could be. I don't know what that is, actually. But on further down, Obama's got a house. Man, pile of garbage up there, too. Wonder if he's moving. Don't know. Don't care. I've done the repainting project. This is interesting, by the way. So close. We have the Russian military attaché. There it is. Office of Defense, Military, Air, Naval Attachés at the Embassy of Russia. I find that very amusing. Obama lives like doors away from that, and doors away from the Islamic Center, for that matter, that was founded, I think it was established and dedicated by Dwight D. Eisenhower. I want to say in 1959. I don't know if that's correct, but quite the minaret. You can see that from all over the place in the neighborhood. If you're up on the bridge, the Taft Bridge, going on Connecticut Avenue, you can see it. And certainly here we are on Massachusetts Avenue and Belmont Road. So a little bit of a passing show, a little bit of who, what, when, and where. You never know what you might see in the neighborhood. I was going to walk just back down Massachusetts, hit maybe S Street, California or something, walk back down that way, get my exercise, then I'll cool off at the house, maybe do some writing. As I said, Lynn's working only a half day today, so keeping out of her hair. And she is the HR director at Theodore Roosevelt Conservation Partnership. If anyone's interested. Looks like we got somebody else joining. Who is it? Who joined? I don't know. I can't tell. But we had 13 total looking in on the passing show here at Harrowings. Embassy of India across the way. It's part of it, not the whole thing. And over here, Turkey. The Turkish embassy. There's Ataturk. 2525 Massachusetts Avenue. And stuff that was piled up there during the earthquake they had not long back. Lot of charity. See a jet going back up there. Watch my step. And here we have the Embassy of Japan, if I'm not mistaken. Why does it look like that? Why isn't it? Yeah. Embassy of Japan. The older building, there's the flag. Rising sun. Bright red circle. Man, think about our friendship with Japan now compared to where we were in 1941 to 45 and earlier. Of course, with the rape of Nanking and it's all that mess that was happening in 36. I don't know exactly when the first invasion happened by the Japanese into China. They poured a lot of their resources there. The Chinese kept them pinned down pretty well. A lot of their best soldiers. We did what we could. Maybe we didn't do enough. Maybe we did too much. But we rebuilt them. And that was the difference between World War I and II. Rebuilding of our enemies, creating friends of sorts. And when I was growing up, the Japanese were like the Chinese are now, doing a lot of our manufacturing, the miniaturization of things. You couldn't get a radio that wasn't made in Japan. So, who growing up with people who had been kids in that period, like my father, he was 12 years old when the war ended. His father served in the Navy. He had a lot of prejudice against our brothers and sisters across the Pacific. And, we're all one species, folks. We need to act like it. Here we're walking through another neighborhood, some houses, some embassies, some ambassadors' residences. This one's a little run down here. I don't know the story on it. Walking past it. It's a heat pump. Looks like a fairly modern one, so fence is all chewed up. What is that? That's part of Venezuela and abandoned because we don't have good relations with Venezuela right now. It would be nice if we did, but we want to control everybody. That's the thing, right? Controlling others. I was meant to have been controlled. Come with a remote. I was talking to a Danish friend over Instant Messenger yesterday evening. Good long talk. It was morning her time, like 4 a.m. when we got off the line. We're coming up on 4 anyway. It's about 11 o'clock my time. I ended up staying up till about 1:30 my time on the East Coast. As you can see, I've been in this building before, not the adjunct, but that's kind of cool. Look at that sculpture in the window. The trident. I don't know what that's about. But I like that building. It's all covered in vines. Probably not good for its fabric. But here's the ambassador's residence of the Republic of Slovenia and the Slovenian embassy itself. And there, back in the day, when I lived in Denmark and was founding the Nordic chapter of the Society for Technical Communication, pretty ineffectually as it turned out. Well, it was a thing for a while. Um, I happened to be in cahoots with president of the Transalpine chapter of the Society for Technical Communication. It was a former ballerina from Slovenia. I remember sitting with her in Vienna at a fancy, I want to say it was a Renaissance hotel or something like that, not far from the Viennese Opera, where I tried to get a ticket, but they were sold out. But yeah, what was that young girl's name? She was so nice. Susanna. Susanna and I were talking about planning for how the Nordic chapter and the Transalpine chapter could cooperate with each other. And we did. We did cooperate with each other. I turn on 24th Street here off of California, walk down a bit. An old acquaintance of mine named Jack, forgotten his last name, died about 4 years ago. I just heard from his widow. We'd fallen out of touch. We used to go to the same places, but I stopped going to those places. And to kind of go to one of those places pretty soon, for the last time for a while, Cyprus, a Cypriot ambassador's residence. DDD is the diplomatic license plate for Cyprus. So that's the residence. And across the way is the residence of my friend. I don't think it's the one that's for sale there. I hope not. Then again, it wouldn't be bad if it was the case that she was selling her place and going to downsize or something because she's retiring from Georgetown. But 50, she's Russian. She is Russian. St. Petersburg, Russia. I have a lot of good friends who are Russian. We were started out with this walk talking about the Russian Cultural Institute or Foundation or whatever, or what center, the Russian Cultural Center. That's what it's called. I read the plaque from there, so if you want to roll back in this video at any time and see it, you can. I like to take people on little tours of the neighborhood, walk and talk, I call it. And I don't know even who I'm talking to, but I don't care. I'm just happy you're here if you are. We're at 24th and S Street Northwest, right at the side of the Embassy of Chad. There's a little monument over there to one of the Irish poets and rebels, patriots. Can't see him through the trees too well. There's his feet. I can see his feet merging. I'm going to walk up this side of the street. This is some interesting stuff here, I think. That's my opinion. Another jet going up out of National. You can see past the lamppost here. And where are they going? What are they doing? I don't know. I was talking about projecting consciousness out there. Here's the embassy of the ambassador of the Netherlands. Across the street. Lovely flowers. And the tulips in the spring are amazing there. So lucky. So lucky to live in this neighborhood. I don't know what the deal is with 2346 or the one next to it for that matter. That was being rehabbed recently. But this is a gorgeous piece of architecture as well. Across the street, the embassy of Pakistan's residence. The ambassador of Pakistan can live there, 2343 S Street Northwest. This is 2344. Like I said, it's just recently been rehabbed. Some artwork in there. Some boxes have been delivered. Across the street, the Islamic Republic of Mauritania's residence for the ambassador. Their license plates say DTP, apparently. There's the ambassador's car, a Lincoln Continental. Here, President Woodrow Wilson House, Historic Perspectives, Modern Initiatives. and it's been designated a registered national historic landmark. 1965. That was just after, I think, that Edith Galt Wilson died, who was effectively president during her husband's convalescence from a stroke, suffered in his final term in office. Now we're trespassing on the sidewalk outside Jeff Bezos' 2330, and next door, he has the other part of his holdings. He may own the house across the street still, I think. Looks pretty empty. Nice motorcycle, Speed S. And if that's Jeff's personal bike, it's Triumph. I doubt it. But it's if I guessed. And this one was 2320. It's all part of one thing now. Was the textile museum that moved to George Washington University. Jeff bought this. 25 bathrooms in there. Across the street, the embassy of the residence, I should say, of the Embassy of China. Chinese ambassador's place. If you're a Madam Secretary fan, that would be where Ming lived. But that was fictional. This is real. They got a package of mine and would not return it. My mailman told me he saw it there, misdelivered. My address can be a little hard to find. This is the Embassy of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, formerly Burma, and been in there during one of their embassy open houses. Often we have protesters here. They're the toddlers, probably from the nursery school at the Catholic church up the way, Our Lady of the Americas. Our Lady Queen of the Americas, correct myself. This is the former residence of the Irish ambassador, but he's moved to posher digs, and the house has been sold. Looks kind of junky inside, so I have no idea who bought it, what they're doing with it. This used to belong to the Embassy of Laos, but they sold it. You can see the windows are blacked out. There's some repairs being done to it. I thought maybe the ambassador of Moldova might have bought it, because I saw his car parked up here. Fair amount. But I'm not sure. Beautiful copper sheathing. Probably for the roof. I don't know. Nice pieces of copper. Okay. We've got the rest of the residents of the Laotian ambassador, DQN, are their license plates. You can see the Laotian flag flying, and also a flag for the union of those countries that are in that area. I think the Indonesians flag as well. Embassy of the Lao People's Democratic Republic. So if you haven't been to Laos recently, consider a vacation there. Why not? I can do it by stepping over onto the grass, because technically that is Laotian territory. And the sidewalk, I think, belongs to D.C. Mitchell Park, across the way, former place where Holmead House was, torn down by the Germans, and then the land was taken by the United States during World War II and annexed to Mitchell Park. An old 18th century farmhouse, I think, there. Up there are townhouses, just a whole row of them. You can enter through that garage, but otherwise it's pretty well sealed off. Probably some other entrances off of Bancroft Place. Here we're going to go down by the Spanish Steps. I'd loop around, look down 22nd Street. You know, there's such a rise here. It's like the fall line. It's kind of sandy subsoil down below and rock up here where I'm standing. So that's kind of nice, right? You don't have as much erosion possibilities, not shifting around a lot. Can absorb earthquake energy, though, and the National Cathedral is still under repair from one suffered in 2011. And that's been quite a while ago, 14 years. Spanish Steps. And what's nice is the fountain is actually in operation. Look at that. It's a lion's head spitting the water out. It's gorgeous. Okay, so this place was belonging to the Thai embassy at one point. It has a little plaque up here. I don't know what it says. What does it say? Hold on, read it. Freedom Place. Freedom Place. Okay. That's nice. The gardens don't look too bad right now. A little weedy in the lawn area. But yeah, ornamental. Magnolias across the street. Home improvement, painter and decorator, renovations. They may be working on that place. I don't know. It's got another little annex building there with its garage. I think it's just adorable. And it does look like it's got some exterior repairs that are needed. Has a seal on the back side of it there. It looks very classical in nature. I don't know. Freedom Place, yeah. So here we go by my neighbors who have a Tesla, charging that up at 2122. They got a Porsche 911 too. That's a cutie, isn't it? Kind of an older one. Red. Red kind of draws attention. As S and Phelps, we went up that hill at the beginning of this walk, and now we're coming back down S towards my place. I'm going to be wrapping that walk up fairly shortly. Doing my walk around the block. There's a pre-Columbian ball here too. Stone ball from Costa Rica and a robin. Checking out. No, you didn't like being filmed. No, I don't blame him. Iron chain there. Embassy of Costa Rica seal and sign. I've been in there too, and they open houses. That's nice of them. And I don't know if I met the ambassador or not, but I did meet the ambassador of Albania, who lives right across the street from us, or works there. I don't know where she lives. She might live there too. I mean, my friend Jack, an architect, did the work on the interior of that when it was owned by some couple of sisters who were Texas oil rich. They had pictures of the gushers inside, he said, and he did the basement up in the basement, the kitchen in the basement. My next door neighbors who own a couple of Teslas here, they have their little side yard, little triangle yard there, very decorated, very beautiful. They have a couple of dogs, a big standard poodle, some smaller yappy ones. But, yeah. Red Tesla, silver Tesla. S and a 3. I don't know if the 3 is a dual motor or not. Maybe it is. Yep, sure is. But that'll zip. It's being charged now. DGP 098, ambassador of 096. The Albanian embassy cars. And double eagle on the red field is their flag. Next door to me, the embassy of Moldova. Flying Ukrainian colors in the window as well to show solidarity with their neighbors. I don't know how conditions are in Moldova. I never talked to them, but sometimes they come over and tell me, "Hey, move your car if I'm parked somewhere in these 3 spots." The weekend I'm parked here, which is nice, but during the weekdays, it's theirs between 7 o'clock in the morning to 6:30 p.m. I think that's right. Yeah, Embassy of Moldova, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Another jet coming up out of National, heading somewhere. Everybody's moving if they ain't already there. And remember, it's a temp job. Life is. We're here now. We get an opportunity to play through creation. We get an opportunity to express ourselves. We have freedom of speech, so to speak. And every cent spent is a vote for the kind of world we're co-creating. I've been trying to convince people that we need to defund CBS. We need to defund ABC, NBC, MSNBC, Fox News, NPR, PBS. They all already lost their federal funding, apparently, for the next couple of years. That's going to be rough. And, subsidize Substack writers and journalists of all sorts. This is citizen journalism here. taking in the passing show, who, what, when, and where. It's real deal, unvarnished. My opinions are my own. And if you don't agree with them, that's fine. But every cent spent is a vote for the kind of world we are co creating. Time is currency. So every second we spend with each other is another kind of vote for the kind of world we are co creating. We're listening to each other. We're taking in these sound waves, optical inputs, and doing something with it. You want American made cars? Don't buy a Kia. Don't buy a Nissan or Subaru or Toyota or Volkswagen. And I'm swinging around Toyota. There's a Chevrolet over there. I don't even know if that Chevrolet is made in America, though, anymore. We're so enmeshed in a global economy. So you got to think about what you're subsidizing as individuals. You may not be rich, you may not be poor, you may be somewhere in the middle, but it still doesn't matter. Every cent you spend is a vote. Everything you support. New York Times, defund it. Washington Post, defunded. LA Times, Philadelphia Inquirer, defund them. Do not subscribe. You don't like X? Don't pay for what X offers. I'll tell you a little secret. I do, and I've been working with Grok a bit, and Super Grok, Grok 4. And it's been enjoyable. But I'm not going to buy their super heavy Grok because, well, it's $300 a month. I'm not made of money. On the other hand, you can fund me for what, $8 a month, $80 a year, become a founding member at a higher rate, and that would mean so much to me. Or you can just be a free subscriber. You can not subscribe at all. You can desubscribe if you want. I'm going to stop looking at how many subscribers I have because it's depressing when I see them go down. But right now, last I checked, I had a 553. I gone up higher, and some people voted with their feet. Didn't like what they were getting, I guess. And that's fine. But honestly, the 11 people who've taken the time to become paid subscribers are my board of directors. They don't seem to want to direct me, but they've got the opportunity to, and they put their money where their mouth is. I put my money where my mouth is, and I have paid subscriber of a number of different voices. And I'll recommend them, and you can look at my recommendations and you subscribe to them too. And we can inform each other. We can keep each other posted. We can network. We can do a lot of things. Look at my podcast. Look at this little live with Hal Gill session and think about it. Embassy of the Republic of Moldova. Think about that country. Think about everything. Gotta think. Gotta take the consequences of your actions and think about what Aretha Franklin said in the Blues Brothers. I could go on and often do, but I think mosquitoes going to eat me alive if I stay out here. I do not want to be eaten alive by the mosquitoes. So we're going to go in and cut this passing show right about where we are. Grateful to be here, grateful to be anywhere. Thank you for joining. Bing, bing, bing. Um, and end live video. End live video.